detected in beginning area.
Customer service issues they're having right now, and they're doing everything they can to fix it.
Diligent about our boarding process for social distancing. All of us are going to be patient, and none of us are going to linger near the silver columns.
If you're anything like me, you've been very reserved about traveling in 2020. Since COVID hit the radar, traveling has decreased by unimaginable amounts. So when we decided to take one of our dream trips, a winter trip to Breckenridge, Colorado, while we immediately noticed the differences right at the airport. In fact, driving into the airport, all of the parking lots were completely empty. Many of them closed, and this is at one of the biggest airports on the East Coast at BWI, Baltimore Washington International. The next thing we noticed was the airport was empty. I would call it like an 11 o'clock at night type of scene at the airport rather than a day trip. And the airplane was empty, a 737, only carrying 70 passengers. A lot of it has to do with misinformation. A lot of it is people just don't want to increase their risk of getting COVID or spreading COVID. Yeah, big companies like Southwest and, other airlines and major companies, they take hits as well. But really what it's all about is it's about the small businesses that are taking a hit. It's the businesses inside the airport, not necessarily the airlines that are flying out of the airport. It's all the small business that is really taking the most drastic hit because small business doesn't have the pockets or the bank accounts that big business does, so they can't weather these storms as easily. I was unsure, rather, I wanted to accept the increased risk of getting COVID or spreading COVID. When it all came down to it, our family and our friends' family decided the importance of supporting local business far outweighs the risk it's going to increase for us to have any health issues from COVID. We're raising young kids. Kids only have so many years under your roof, and then they turn into adults, and it's all done. It's over. You can't go back. We're the parents of elementary and middle schoolers, and we've seen their sports get taken away. We've seen all of their socializing with school friends and teachers taken away, and it's just very detrimental to them, and it's going to have long-lasting effects that we can't even predict yet. Everyone's risk is different and judged differently when it comes to COVID. It's based on all kinds of different factors like who your family members are, what kind of direct contact do you have with them, who you work with, the age of these people around you, the health of these people around you, the kids around you. We wanted to see what Breckenridge looked like during COVID, as well as the winter time. I've dreamed about taking a ski trip to Breckenridge since I was young. It's one of the more famous resorts in all of the United States. Due to COVID, we were able to fly to Denver, Colorado for really cheap. We got in late, we drove to Breckenridge in a rental van, and we checked into our Airbnb. The next morning, bright and early, it was time to see what Breckenridge was all about, and the number one thing Breckenridge is known for is their skiing.
Wow.
The United States survives on small business. Whether you realize it or not, small businesses aren't particularly the visual faces when we think of business, but small business is the foundation that every big business is built on. Small businesses are the engine behind the United States economy. Every job, every US made product, all have traces back to small business in some way. And that's if they're not directly produced by small business, which most of them are. This trip to Breckenridge was eye-opening. It was also heartbreaking. But when you're traveling during times like this, you have to understand things just aren't going to be what you're expecting. The restaurants are takeout only. There's weird, quirky rules where some stores have, 4 people allowed in, or some stores are just letting everyone in. It's just all kinds of confusion, just like it's been since COVID started. But what I feel happy about is that we were able to travel to Breckenridge and visit these small businesses and support these small businesses. Because with small businesses, every customer counts. It's not like going to a big box store where you're just another number going through the aisle, checking out and whatever. They're just trying to move you through. When you walk into small business stores, you're greeted. There's conversation if you want it. There's a very friendly environment because the people that own the small business really care about your presence. You are their lifeline. You are their financial support, especially at times like Christmas. It's just great to take every opportunity that you can, judged on your circumstances, to support small business because we all have to get through this together. If you get the chance, don't raise the risk of your COVID exposure any more than you have to. But understand this world won't look the same if we don't help our small businesses get through this. This world has a lot of beauty to offer, and I really love traveling to see it. It's one of the real blessings in my life to be able to travel and see different parts of the world. Every area is different. Every area is beautiful in its own way. We need to make sure we do what we can through the hard times like now to step up and be there for our small businesses, because our small businesses employ almost half the United States population. The biggest part of our economy is our small businesses. I'm not saying jeopardize your safety by going out and exposing yourself to COVID, but I am saying just be smart with what you do and make sure that you're trying your best to live within those constraints while supporting our small businesses. Supporting small businesses means supporting your family. It means supporting your friends. It means supporting your neighbors. Don't let fear overtake your sense of community. Support your small businesses so that when we get out of this mess, we'll have a world that's recognizable.